Welcome to our live training session number 36, part 3. In this video, we're going to take a look at doing our wide open throttle tuning off of our wastegate spring level, which should be approximately 18 to 20 psi. We're going to take a look at doing our fuel and our spark timing tuning and looking at our knock control and guiding us in our spark timing tuning to tell us how much timing we can get away with safely on this stock engine. We're going to have a lot to cover, so let's jump into our live training session so we can get started. Welcome back to our live training session here with our second gen Mitsubishi Eclipse. Now in the last video we dialed in our idle and part throttle areas of driving. So we went through the speed density table. We just went through, made sure our combined fuel trim was getting as close to zero as possible. Plus or minus 5% is about where we wanted to see it at. So we learned how to sample, going right click, going here to the SDVE adjust combined fuel trim, using that data that we've collected here in our data log to go back in and essentially auto tune our table, or we manually could make adjustments based on just scaling back to the table here, kind of picking points of data and then going back in using the track data log feature to give you that exact position, and then highlighting the range, right clicking, going to multiply, and multiply by whatever it's showing you for that combined fuel trim. So making your editing changes and then using your vertical and horizontal blending into the table here and just getting everything nailed down manually. So you can do either. I use both methods actually. So I use that auto adjust when I'm capturing maybe a 10 or 20 minute log, so I don't have to pour through the data. And then once I know it's close and I manually went in and smoothed out the changes, the auto changes it made, then I'll go back in and drive it, maybe capture a 2 or 3 minute log, and then go back and hand fit that data and use that multiply feature. So each has a purpose and a place in your tuning process. It's going to be really up to you what you feel more comfortable with. So we've done that. We know that at idle, the airflow per rev is around 0.24, 0.26, so we know that's represented properly. We know the IAC position and the learned idle adjust were around where they should be. The IAC position between 30 and 40, learned idle adjust between 130 and 140. So they're in the range of where they're supposed to be at. Everything looked good. Now we're ready to take a look at wide open throttle tuning. So in the very first video, in our live direct access here, we went into our, jumping down here to the timing max octane. From 1.2 load factor and higher, we zeroed out the table here. So we've made all of our timing zero. That's gonna be extremely conservative. What that's gonna allow us to do in this video is be able to check the reported air mass coming from our speed density table. So jumping in here, going into the speed density table, the values in here should be ballpark close. This is what we developed from that first live training video with the other 2G Eclipse. So we carried the values forward. We know that these values were pretty much spot on. We know that our wideband factor was close to zero in that video, so we really nailed it down. We'll be taking a look at our wideband factor here in this video to guide us in our process. So this table right here, our speed density table, we're able to evaluate this by having our spark timing super low, by going here and leaving it at 0 degrees. We're able to get our fuel nailed down, get that sorted out, and then start to bump our spark timing in. Once we start to do that, we then can take a look at our knock data, looking at our raw knock and our knock thresholds and our knock retard, making sure that as we're working our spark timing in, we're not getting into a situation where the engine's gonna produce knock. In that situation, we probably don't have enough octane, or we simply can't run that kind of a spark timing with the combination of parts we have here. So this is going to be a little bit more sensitive to spark timing compared to the other 2G Eclipse that had a really big turbo, equal length manifold, really good breathing mods on it. This is a log manifold, 16G turbo. It has cams and a 3-inch turbo back exhaust, but it's going to have more back pressure compared to the other example. So it's probably going to be a little bit more sensitive to spark timing, but we're going to be letting the knock data show us and guide us in that process. We're going to take a look at that. Now this also has boost control. This has a 3-port boost solenoid from ECM Link. The other 2G Eclipse had an AM True Boost solenoid. So that video, we really couldn't go through the boost control tuning routine. So we're going to do that in this video, but the wastegate spring is going to be where we start from, which is about 18 to 20 PSI. If we jump back in here to the... Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.